Hey everybody, check out who I got here. Pete Serrano, your next Attorney General. Pete, congratulations, man.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, better you than me. Hey, no, listen. Hey, we just did our live event, and we were talking about, this election really is for the soul of the state of Washington coming up. I mean, we are teetering on just going into insanity land forever. And if you could really sum up what Pete Serrano for the Attorney General is all about, what do you want to do with the state's most powerful legal office? What are you going to do? And more importantly, what are you going to not do that we've been seeing lately?
Well, let's start off with not. First, I'm not going to get you checks from chicken and tuna and then endorse myself.
Okay.
But on top of that, I'm also not going to be sitting there playing legislature, governor, and attorney general. My job is to enforce the law, to make sure the laws that are written are constitutional. That's why the work that I've been doing with Silent Majority Foundation is suing on behalf of the people of Washington, because we have no representation in Olympia. We get simply put, Makadingra and her friends, she's running for attorney general from the other side, will run these police pursuit bills that make it an unsafe place for you and I to live.
Well, she killed the bill last year that would have solved some of this problem. I mean, Makadingra individually, single-handedly killed that bill.
Exactly. But, she touts her time as a prosecutor. Anyway, but the bottom line is our attorney general needs to represent and give access to justice to everybody, not the hand-selected friends or friends of friends and cronies. We need to make sure there's a true, fair application of law. You and I have talked about this, and I said this in our live. There are times where even you and I disagree.
Right.
But we still shake hands. We're still friends. You still support me. I support your work. At the end of the day, we want what's right for Washington. We want a safe place. We want a place where the law is enforced and where the laws are constitutional. And that's my promise to the people.
One of the things that, and I'm critical of both political parties of this, and I'm going to be very critical of Washington State, but it seems like the current leadership from our governor and our current attorney general who wants to be the governor is that they want to focus on all the things that make us different. And they never, ever want to focus on all the things that we have in common. And we as Washington residents have a lot of things in common. We may see certain issues differently, but there are a lot of core values that I think Washingtonians share. And I think that's why your environmental background is also so good to make you an attorney general, because conservation efforts are huge in Washington State. What do you think we can do to start focusing on what makes us similar rather than what makes us different? Because there's too much of that going on.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is the narrative that comes from the top down, whether it's the governor or the attorney generals. They tell us what we're going to do. They tell us who we can be friends with, what we can like, what we can dislike. That's not the job of our politicians that are elected to represent you and I. And when I come into this office, my goal will be to say, listen, we're going to have diversity of thought. We're going to have diversity of background.
Which is good.
Yeah, let's embrace it.
Right.
Let's be stronger in it. Let's be strengthened by what is different about us, but also let's be strengthened by what unifies us. Like you said, I'm a man of faith, but I'm a man of principle and family. If we can all take that, my principles, my integrity, your principles, your love for family, we will be a stronger Washington. We will be a better Washington. We won't have to have these crazy bills of saying, oh, parental rights don't matter here because the kids' rights or the individual rights. That's not the case. We need to protect the family. We need to protect the individual. And when an individual is of sound mind and of age, let them make their decisions.
You mean like the way our founding fathers decided that we should run this country, that choose your own destiny?
Yeah, I mean, there used to be the Constitution, and it used to stand. Our Constitution here in Washington talks about the Supreme Creator. It gives this great opening mantra of gratitude to that Supreme Creator that's bestowed us of our rights. We need to make sure those rights that are inalienable, that are natural rights, are preserved and protected. And right now, to your point, our current organization, our current governor, our current AG, they're doing the best job of taking those rights and saying, well, that's what makes us different.
Yeah.
We need that time to unify us.
Two other last questions here. The first one deals with public safety. So obviously we've seen violent crime exponentially increase throughout the state of Washington. We've seen homicides increase throughout the state of Washington, Puget Sound region in particular, but the problem's not unique to the Puget Sound region. So do you think that we just need to pass a couple more gun laws to start making our communities safer, or what's going on here, Pete?
Yeah, I think my first lobbying would be revolvers only. Yeah,
Single shot revolver.
Yeah, and then a couple of
single shot
shotguns.
derringers.
Yeah, no, I mean absolutely. What we know is the bad guys are always going to have access to what's illegal, and the good guys like you and I, the guys up at Precision Rifle that we were just visiting with, they're going to have. We're all going to be limited by what the law says we can have. And the criminals are going to have whatever they want.
You're saying that the criminals don't follow the laws, Pete?
Yeah, it's a shock that criminals actually don't abide by the law. Somehow I've not understood. Or
you know who should understand that really good? Because, so I had the pleasure of working for a gentleman named Norm Mailing for the King County Prosecutor's Office. We actually knew back then when we policed our community that criminals don't follow the laws. You know who else worked in that office?
Who?
That would be Manka Dingra.
Oh.
Yeah. Apparently she didn't get that memo when she was there. Listen, last question, most important question. Anybody who wants to get in the fight right now, get their checkbook out and get in the fight right now, how do they donate to Pete Serrano for Attorney General?
Absolutely. Appreciate that. Serrano, SerranoForAG.com. Real simple. Serrano with 2 R's, 4AG.com. That's where you can find me. That's where you can find my positions, like Bill's talked about, my experience with environmental law and how I can actually use that to not tell you to start driving hybrid cars or electrical vehicles, and that's the only way we save our environment.
Cool gas stoves?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's going to kill us too, right?
Leaf blowers? Gas leaf blowers? You okay with that?
Yeah, that's going to be... I mean, all that stuff is ridiculous. We need to have reasonable regulation and where the Attorney General can step in and say, that's not constitutional. That's not law-abiding. We need to put a break on that. We need to stop that. We need to have that check. And that's what I stand for, is that check right there. So SerranoForAG.com, SerranoForAG.com is where you can find us. You can donate there. It talks about the limitations. But God bless you. And like you said, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
what
going to
a
be a
great
good year, everyone. We're going to change Washington. Listen, it's SerranoForAG.com. We're also going to put down below in the description box a link to our live announcement that we did just a little while ago so you can kind of understand a little bit more about where Pete is coming from. I encourage you to watch it because I kind of told a little background story about the reason I am so passionate about this race, about this election, and in particular about this gentleman right here and why he is going to make the perfect Attorney General. Pete, thanks so much. Best of luck to you. You know, Washington Gun Law has got your back. We'll be with you the whole way. In the meantime, hey, you guys know the drill. The only way that you can always ensure that you are the lawful and responsible gun owner is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, Happy New Year. Thanks for watching and stay safe.